guys, my name is Victoria Pavlov. I'm the Photoshop artist, and today we will talk about brush organization in Adobe Photoshop CC. Today I will record another tutorial about watercolor painting in Adobe Photoshop CC. But before that, I would like you to understand brush organization method in Adobe Photoshop CC. Why you need to organize your brushes? Just because if you will organize your brushes, you will be able to access to any of your brushes in no time. So guys, let's start. First of all, I downloaded all my brushes from Adobe website. If you are a Creative Cloud subscriber, all those brushes are free for you. Simply open your brush panel, go to menu, expand it, and click on get more brushes. You will be redirected to Adobe website where you can download absolutely free all amazing brushes. All those brushes created by Kyle Webster. I love those brushes. I'm using those brushes in all my painting workflow. Here, as you can see, I have my main folder, watercolor folder, where I have all watercolor brushes I downloaded from Adobe website. I have my favorite brushes. I have brushes I use sometimes, and I have some brushes I never use. So guys, let's start organizing our brushes. First of all, I would like to create my main folder. I will click on add a new group, new folder, and I will rename this folder to mine watercolor brushes, and I will click OK. So as you can see, I have created my new folder. Now I would like to create few subfolders. I will click on add a new group, and I will name this group like my background brushes. So here I will have all my brushes I use in my background workflow, just like that. I would like to make my background brushes as a subfolder to my watercolor brushes folder. So I will click on my background brushes folder, and I will drag this folder on top of my watercolor brushes, and voila, now I have one main folder, my watercolor brushes folder, and one subfolder, my background brushes subfolder. Now I will add another subfolder. I will click on add a new group, and I will name this to my my second brushes. So why my second brushes? Just because here I will store all brushes I use in my accent, in my detail workflow. So my second brushes, I need to correct my spelling. My second brushes, just like that, and I will click OK. So now I have one main folder, my watercolor brushes, and two subfolders, my background brushes and my second brushes. And here, let me expand it, just like that. And here I have all my watercolor brushes. So how do I know what brush I will use in my background workflow, what brush I will use in my example flower workflow, in my details workflow? So if you just downloaded all those brushes, definitely don't know what brush you will use in some specific workflow. I will recommend you just select your brush tool. I will change color to a okay, it will be yellow, and I will click on each brush. First of all, I will create a new layer, just like that, and I will click on my first brush. I will make my brush size bigger, and I will paint, just like that. This is eraser, this is brush tool, just like that. Maybe, oh, I will use this brush in my detail workflow, so I will click on this brush, and I will drag this brush into my subfolder, in my second brushes subfolder. Here I have another brush I know I will use Probably I will use this brush in my background workflow. Yeah, definitely yes. I will click and drag this brush in my background brush subfolder. Just like that. Same with this brush. Let's see. Same, I will use this brush in my background workflow. And guys, just go and click on each brush and you will see what brush you will use in your background or main workflow. This brush I will use in my example flower painting. I will click and drag this brush into my watercolor brushes folder, just like that. Just like that. And let's see what else. Maybe this one. Exactly this brush in my flower workflow. And guys, so just go click on each brush, this brush for my background workflow, and click and drag this brush to your specific folder. Right now I have two brushes in my watercolor brushes, so I will use those brushes in my main workflow. Example, in my flower painting workflow, I have three brushes in my background brushes subfolder. I can click on any of those brushes and I will use this brush in my background workflow. And I have one brush in my second brushes subfolder. I will use this brush for my detail work. Example, if I would like to apply, create some details over my flower, I will use this brush. Guys, just look, we have many wonderful brushes, and I'm talking about one folder, only watercolor brushes. We have all amazing brushes. So guys, just simply go through all your brushes, play with them, create I don't know, start working on example watercolor painting or any other painting, and you will discover your favorite brushes. Let's see, what about this brush? This brush I will use in my detail workflow. I will click and drag this brush into my second brushes subfolder. So as you can see, guys, you don't need to use all brushes. So just use your brushes you're more comfortable with, all brushes you like the most. This brush I will use in my background workflow, just like that. In my flower workflow. So guys, this is what I wanted to show, and now we have one main folder, my watercolor brushes folder, and we have two subfolders. We have one my background brush subfolder and one my second brush subfolder. Let me delete my layer. I will add a new layer. I will use this layer as my background layer. I will click on my background brushes. I will make my brush bigger. I will change color for my brush. Just let's see. And I will apply my first brush stroke just like that. As you can see, I use this brush for my background painting. I have three more brushes. I will click on any of those and I will continue working on my background just like that. Perfect, right? If I will change color, colors will blend perfectly fine, just like that. How amazing is it? Now I will create a new empty layer and I will restack this layer on top of my all other layers, and I will click on my watercolor brush, any brush in my watercolor brushes folder, just like that. I will change color for my brush to the red, just like that, and I will paint over my rose, just like that. Just like that. If I would like to change my brush, I have two more brushes in my watercolor brushes folder. I will click on my another favorite brush and I will continue working on my flower, on my rose, just like that, guys. So now you can organize your brushes. I will recommend, I insist you organize your brushes, because it will make your workflow much easier. So guys, thank you very much. I hope you like my tutorial. If so, please subscribe to my channel, share my tutorial, and if you will create something, if you create any image using Kyle Webster brushes, just share on Twitter and tag me in your post. I would love to see your creations. Thank you guys, and I will see you later. Bye guys.